This is Chester Moore, Executive Editor of Texas Fishing Game Magazine, here at the 2011 ICAST show in Las Vegas. Here with Al Perkison from Costa Del Mar. How you doing, Al?
Doing great, Chester. How you doing, bud?
Wonderful, man. Anytime I can spend some time with you guys here, you have such a great mind for conservation. That's what I want to start off talking about a little bit. You guys are now involved with an organization that we're partners with, the Costa Conservation Association. Tell us about that relationship.
Well, we've been supporters of the CCA for a pretty long time. And it was a little hard to get involved with them at first because each state is different. Yes, so we've had to, over time, work our way up to where now we're a sponsor of Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. So we support all those chapters. And we also support the national chapter or organization as well. And it's a great relationship because they have this grassroots group of members, and they have banquets. We go to all the banquets and help them with lobbying efforts to protect the coastlines. And this year we brought the biggest music performer in the United States, Kenny Chesney, in to be a member of CCA, and we're doing a joint program with them so that a part of all the sunglasses that we sell, the Kenny sunglasses, will go to the CCA. And so we're real happy to get somebody of his stature involved with CCA and become a supporter of it.
That's a great thing, and I've actually worked partnership with CCA, with Texas Fishing Game, and also my Flounder Revolution project, and I've actually seen where the money goes. I've been on the ground handling the stuff with these guys, and the money the CCA gets, it's not like, 5% goes to field work. They really do use it for conservation, so it's a wise use of the financial resource. Yeah,
it really is, and I think one of the big things that we need to help CCA with going forward is getting more members. Yep. The economy took a bit of a toll, and I think the biggest priority is to get out there and get members. And if you have a fishing license, you ought to be a member of CCA, period, end of story. So if you're not, make it happen.
That's a fact, sir. No, back here, we'll show this on video. There's a Mondo, huge, gigantic circle hook for sharks, and you guys are involved with great white shark conservation.
We are. One of our great buddies, Chris Fisher, and his crew, the Shark Men, have a show on National Geographic, and they cruise around the world tagging great white sharks. Never been done before. They actually catch the shark, pull it up onto a platform on the side of their big boat, and take some blood samples, and put a tag on there, satellite tag. And they're able for the first time to really track where these animals go, where they spawn, what their breeding habits are, and that's going to help us protect them. Because sharks are an incredibly important element of the oceans, and it's not just great whites, but all sharks. And shark finning is a major problem out there, so we're trying to help address all of those issues related to sharks through Chris Fisher and his team.
Yeah, and by the way, I am officially applying now, so if you need an extra shark guy to catch great whites, I'll take that job. I used to tag sharks with the Moat Marine Lab in Sarasota, Florida. In Sea Grant, in Texas, we probably tagged 300 sharks on the Texas coast, and actually got bit by one. That's a whole other sidebar. But it's an amazing thing, and you're right. You said sharks are a vital link. They are. It's that whole they're the apex predator, and you got to have them to take care of the sick and the weak, and make sure certain populations don't get too high of fish and things like that. So that's a cool thing. People think of sharks as dangerous, but they're a very important part of the ocean.
Extremely. And I know Chris just got through with the project with the Moat Marine Labs. Looking at the hammerheads sharks in Boca Pass, and trying to figure out where those guys spawn, and so it's sharks are extremely important part of the ecosystem, and we've got to protect them.
Now, why is Costa Del Mar so involved in conservation? It's just that you guys know that fishing and things like that's important recreation, and you know that this is all part of a complete picture of the healthy environment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a pragmatic side to it. If there's no fish, there's no fishermen. If there's no fishermen, there's nobody to buy our glasses or anybody else's products. So if you make a product that you sell to fishermen and you're not out there trying to protect the resource, then you're making everybody else have to do that for you, and that's part of your job. So any company that's involved needs to be involved with fishermen, needs to be involved in conservation. But there's also, an emotional thing. I mean, if you're out there on the water, if you're out there, fishing, hunting, boating, whatever you're doing, you see how beautiful it is, how powerful it is. You have all these experiences with your kids or your dads or whatever that are so important, and they're the memories that you live with your whole life. All that stuff is kind of emotional, but it's just as important. It's very valuable. So protecting that is what conservation does as well.
Well, I appreciate you. I've asked this question to a lot of companies that are involved in conservation. You're the first person that gave the honest answer I'm waiting to hear, which is that there's a pragmatic side to it too. You have, and there's a responsibility that comes with that. If we're using the resource, we need to make sure that there is a conservation, which means wisely using that resource.
Yeah, and it just makes common sense. It needs to be sustainable. Why would you just take more than the resource can handle to where there's nothing left? It doesn't help anybody. So sustainability is just the most common sense concept that you could think of. And it takes a lot to understand how to make something sustainable. You got to know how much is out there. You got to know how much is being taken. You have to know how much can be taken without depleting the health of the overall resource. Then you got to have policing and laws and everything in place. So it's not a simple thing you can snap your fingers and make it happen. So it really takes a sustained effort by people like CCA or CCC who look at that whole picture and everything that goes into protecting the resource, and it takes money as well. And so it takes looking at that whole problem, the whole process over a long period of time. So it's got to be a long-term commitment.
And the cool thing is you got a guy like Kenny Chesney here involved in it. That gets the people who are maybe just casual fishermen or something, draws attention. What's this conservation? What's this thing about? So you can draw new people into the idea of conserving the resource.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly looking to bring new people into fishing, and we want them to come in with an understanding that protecting the resource is part of it. And not everybody's going to be a lifelong serious fisherman. But the casual people are important, and they play a role, and there's probably a lot more of them than there are the hardcore guys. And so making it fun, making it part of the whole coastal lifestyle, which is what Kenny is so great about doing, celebrating, just being on a boat with your friends and having a good time and partying. And he brings that whole crowd into the conservation scene, which is great.